Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the darts class. I hope you're enjoying the World Championships. And before you get stuck into me in the comments, just hear me out. If you're new to the channel, as ever, please like and subscribe for more content from the darts class. Otherwise, we'll get straight into the video here, where we're going to discuss whether or not we should move the World Championships away from Ali Pali. Now, the main focus for this issue is the ongoing crowd trouble at this year's 2021-22 William Hill World Darts Championship at Alexandra Palace. So I'm filming this the day after Gerwyn Price got heavily booed during his match with Kim Huybrechts. Now, I've defended people before who have gone to watch live darts events and booed. Personally, I don't know why you would pay money for a ticket to see the best players in the world and then boo them, hoping they will play worse than they're capable of. I want to see the best players in the world play the best darts they can. But anyway, people pay their money and they can react how they want, fair enough. However, last night it did tip over the edge. It has been getting worse and worse throughout these World Championships, mainly with non-English players getting booed. The likes of Willie Borland was getting booed, and then he hit that amazing 9-darter to win the match. Damon Heta was booed as the nicest guy in the world. Alan Soutar is a fireman who raises guide dogs for the blind, but because he's Scottish, he's getting booed. But last night, obviously, the chanting became an issue, and anyone who watched it on Sky Sports would have noticed that the atmosphere microphone kept getting turned up and down throughout the night. Obviously, that's because the producers know that the chants that were being sung might be construed as xenophobic, considering they were sung towards Gerwyn Price about a Welsh stereotype. Now, the PDC are like any major corporation. They do not want to be tarred with a brush that might suggest that they're endorsing that type of behaviour. Now, the PDC will be looking at various ways they can deal with this. They can't just keep adjusting the levels, and they'll have to put some form of crowd control in place, because if the chants get more and more offensive, we've seen it at football matches and the like, it can really start to attach a stigma to the sport. Well, what options are there? And I'm going to present this one, and it's very drastic, and that's moving the World Darts Championships away from Ali Pali. Now, wherever you play a darts tournament, you are going to be susceptible to whatever the crowd wants to do. If they want to sing a chant or be quiet or have no atmosphere, it's the crowd's prerogative. But the World Darts Championship is the flagship competition for the PDC. So a couple of years ago, the PDC made the World Darts Championship a bigger field to enable more international qualifiers to come and broaden the appeal of darts worldwide. Now, the last thing the PDC want are for all these international qualifiers to come in and get abused on the stage. They're trying to grow the game, and moreover, they're trying to get broadcast revenue and sponsorship from these places that the players have qualified from. Are they going to do that and inspire investment from these countries, both in playing members and monetary value of sponsorship, if they see their players coming to the UK, well, more specifically to England, and getting booed for not being English, essentially? So here are the key contenders. If we're going to look at moving it away from Ali Pali, and essentially I guess that means we're going to move that away from England, as we're addressing the problem of the non-English players getting the boos and the hisses and now the controversial songs. Let's look at some places outside of England where the PDC might consider hosting the World Championships. So the obvious one, if they were to move it away from England, might be to the Netherlands. Multiple world champions from the Netherlands, and it's arguably the second biggest country in the world as far as darts is concerned. The Premier League darts has proved that there's appetite for ticket sales out there, and the long-running nature of the World Championships will mean that the PDC will want to go somewhere where they're ensured of selling a lot of tickets. And at this point, I should mention the PDC have struggled a bit to sell the tickets for this year's World Championships, so saying we'll move somewhere and they won't get the crowds isn't really an argument at the moment, as they're failing to fill the Alexandra Palace. Maybe we could see them hop over the border into Wales. We've got a Welsh World Champion, a Welsh Premier League Champion, the Premier League finals were held there. Logistically, it's not going to be too difficult for the PDC to move all their equipment and that sort of thing across into Cardiff. And we could potentially see a situation there where you could have the World Championships being hosted in Wales. Now, if that does happen, the counter argument is going to be, well, won't the Welsh fans just do what the English fans did? Maybe, maybe, but it's an idea, it's out there. Germany is a really popular one if we're thinking about alternative venues for not just World Championships, but for other majors. The Premier League has shown that there's appetite for stadiums full of people to watch darts in Germany, and the Euro Tour regularly has stops in German cities. The growth of the game in Germany is huge, and we've got big name players. Clemens, Hempel is just breaking on the scene now, as well as the likes of Schindler and Max Hopp, to name a few, that are really making inroads into the PDC. So if we're looking for a growth area in darts, the PDC might consider a switch to Germany. Now, if the PDC were thinking about taking the World Championships away from Alexandra Palace, I think those are the three places that they'd really consider. I don't think they would anywhere else. Unless they looked for a hybrid approach, they might look at doing 1 year on, 1 year off at Alexandra Palace. A lot of people will say, look, it's tradition, the World Championships at Alexandra Palace. They said that about the Circus Tavern. They said that about having the World Match Play at Blackpool, but during COVID, obviously that was moved. Things change. Yep, you've got the US Masters in golf. They always play that at Augusta. But you look at the Open and the PGA Championship, things like that. Times change, and the sort of behaviour we're seeing from crowds here has to be addressed in some way, and this is one suggestion how they might do it. So what do you think? Where would you like to see the World Championships hosted if it's not going to be in Alexandra Palace? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time on the Darts Class.